Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our third webinar training. Today we have the Super Heavy Transport Aircraft by Antonov Airlines. I would like to give the welcome from XCOM. Sorry, Colin, I miss you here. But, well, Andreas, Itas, our IT support will be there for any question, for any doubt. You can, if you have any issue, just send him a message on the box. I kindly ask you also to mute your microphone so we can have our presentation. So we also would like to welcome to the customers we have invited for this webinar today. Please feel welcome. And I will give a short introduction about the Havlis Group again. So the Havlis Group is a special international group, a not-for-profit group specialized on heavy transport. So our companies are based all around the world, offering different services focus on heavy lift solutions. We have around 60 members in the world. This is our network coverage. And we aim to be a one-stop shop for our customers, offering solutions for large-scale industrial project forwarding, crane operations, machinery installation and rigging, vessel chartering, port operations, oversight road transportation, engineering, survey, aircraft charters, and barge operations. So what is the difference from our group is that we work together on power in unity. So we are a global group of local professionals. And here are some pictures of projects our members did all over the world. So just for you to have an idea of what we offer. So now we would like to start the webinar training. I would like to say welcome to Andriy and Valeria. I will just make sure, just stop here so you can share your screen. Please feel welcome and please, you can start. Thank you very much, Andriy. Have a nice webinar.
Thank you, Marila, for the invitation, and hello, everyone. Welcome to our masterclass. We're very glad to, very pleased to share our experience and our knowledge in the movement of super heavy and size cargo by air. It's a little different compared to other types of transport. Of course, every transport has specific requirements, but for aircraft, such requirements are even more, let's say, strict. And today we will present you our aircraft, performance of our aircraft, also the process that is required to pass for chartering of the aircraft, and technical aspects concerning the cargo preparation. So who we are, our fleet of super heavy transport aircraft, and the process of chartering operational procedures and cargo preparation guide, and one of the examples of our recent project using Antonov 225 Mriya aircraft. Antonov company was established in 1946, almost 75 years ago, by Oleg Antonov, the aircraft designer. Since that period of time, more than 22,000 of aircraft were constructed. More than 100 different types and modifications of the aircraft were designed by the company. The history of the company started from the small biplan aircraft, Antonov 2, that first flown in 1947. And the recent aircraft that was designed by the company is Antonov 132, also transport aircraft, and this aircraft flew in 2017. Antonov company is not just operator, it is a designer of Antonov 124 aircraft, holder of type certificate for this aircraft, and designer of Antonov 225 Mriya, and holder of the type certificate for this aircraft as well. This is a family of Antonov aircraft from the beginning of the company till the recent days. Our company has specialization in transport aircraft and mainly the cargo aircraft. Cargo aircraft that can be operated without support from home base for a long time and do not require special airport infrastructure for loading or offloading. Antonov Airlines is a division, air transport division of Antonov company, and the company was founded in 1989. And our airlines was the first operator of Antonov 124 on the market, on the commercial market. We have 7 Antonov 124 aircraft in our fleet. We have 1 Antonov 225 Mriya. We have Antonov 22 Andriy, the biggest turboprop aircraft in the world, and small aircraft like Antonov 26 and Antonov 74. Because the topic of our masterclass today is the transportation of oversized and super heavy cargoes, we will present performances on the big aircraft. Our main aircraft is Antonov 124. We have 7 aircraft in our fleet. 5 of them are modified. 2 of them are modified to the version Antonov 124-100-150. It means that this aircraft have increased payload up to 150 tons. Antonov 124 aircraft is equipped with onboard equipment and board cranes that allows us to roll on, roll off during the loading of the cargo directly from truck and or from aircraft directly to the truck can be load the cargo. Also, maximum lifting capacity of the crane on board crane is 30 tons. Aircraft is equipped with winches that allows to winch cargoes up 120 tons. Antonov 225, the biggest aircraft in the world, with maximum lifting capacity up to 250 tons. This aircraft also is equipped with onboard crane with maximum lifting capacity up to 30 tons. Also, due to nose cargo ramp, there is possibility for roll on, roll off. And this aircraft also is equipped with aircraft winches that allows to winch the cargo up to 210 tons. The biggest turboprop aircraft in the world in our fleet, Antonov 22 Andriy, with payload up to 60 tons, with also capability to roll on, roll off. And this aircraft is equipped with a crane up to lifting capacity up to 10 tons. This aircraft also has winches that will allow to winch the cargo inside. Flight, possibly, I would like to ask, possibly if you have some questions, it will be better to receive them after each block of presentation. If you have any questions concerning the performance of the aircraft, please let me know. Okay. So flight booking and operations procedures. Availability, check-in, flight booking, documents required, Antonov processes, communication, flight operations, and post-flight actions. When there is requirement for movement of heavy and oversized cargo by air, we need to understand the next information. What is the route, airport of embarkation, what is the airport of destination, what is the date required for the shipment, what is the expected payload, what is the nature of cargo, what schedule is considered by the customer for the operation. As soon as we have all this information in advance, it's better to have and plan everything in advance, especially for the project cargo. Our commercial team makes the flight costing and quotation to the customers. After negotiations and confirmations of the flight, of the booking in writing from the customer, Antonov company issues a standard contract agreement, standard air transportation agreement, and we sign it, send to customer, exchange the signed copies, and proceed with the further planning. After the signature of the contract for planning, we will need to receive the name and addresses of the shipper and consignee. We need to agree final route because to the last moment, airport of regional destination can be changed, taking into consideration some obstacle for delivering of the cargo by roads to that or another airport. And final packing list. Also, it's very often in our practice when customers can amend the packing list at the last moment, depending on the priority of the cargo. As soon as the signed charter agreement is required, charter agreement is signed, we can discuss and need to receive the next documents. It's a cargo manifest. If there are some dangerous goods in the list of cargo, we need also to receive the completed and signed dangerous goods shipper's declaration. If the cargo contains some goods that are forbidden for transportation by air, taking into consideration IATA dangerous goods regulations, we need to request exemption for transportation of such dangerous goods by aircraft. Also, for proper analysis of the cargo, we need to receive specification, technical specification. We need to receive a passenger manifest and plus copies of their passports and visas. If there are some cargo attendants that will be on board on the whole way from the origin to destination, and also taking into consideration the limits and norms, we have limited working duty time for the crew. In this case, we plan technical stop and crew rest on the route. And for such routes, the cargo attendants should have visas in the country where we will plan technical stop to have possibility to leave the board of aircraft and go together with the crew members to hotel for rest. Also requires a completed airway bill, required 72 hours prior departure, and final packing list, final cargo manifest, also required 70 hours before departure. As soon as all mentioned documents are received, we issue the internal instructions to all departments that are involved in the planning of the flight. And we assign the flight number for this operation. We agree the schedule with the customer. We issue the available number and pass it to the customers. After that, we have all required information to start applications for traffic rights and overflight permits, because we need to apply on the whole route, overfly in every country on the route. We need to receive the corresponding permits, or for technical stops, or for in lane rights in the country of destination. We do this application for traffic rights and overflight permits. We request special exemptions that concern the forbidden dangerous goods. After that, we request our handling companies in the airports to provide the required catering services, to provide the fuel, and to manage the information, customer service management information. Communication prior to flight, agreeing loading and unloading times, when the cargo should be delivered, cranes ordered, confirming the permits that are received and flight is ready to operate. During flight, when the aircraft started to move, we keep our customers aware about status of the flight, where it is loading is completed, where is the aircraft at the moment, what is the actual time of departure, what is the estimated time arrival. If there are any delays, we also keep informed about the process. And after the flight, we receive and ask our customers to provide feedback on the flight operations to make the conclusions and let's say, of course, to make our services better if there is some reason for this. So this is a process that is required for the operational procedures. As I just mentioned, that we inform about the delays, technical problems if it happened, and taking feedback, and of course, we take actions. Now the technical part of the master class concerning the loading cargo and cargo preparation from technical point of view. If you have some questions concerning the operational part, please.
Dear Andriy, I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. There is some problem with the audio. The sound we get seems to be breaking up. Is there something maybe that you can do to fix it?
Just a moment. I invited the IT specialist. Just a moment. Звук, да? Они написали.
Не звонили вам.
Я не знаю, это масса или это... Да? Просто сюда на рабочий стол сейчас, да, переносим?
Куда-нибудь, да, сейчас.
На рабочий стол. Ты думаешь, это из-за флешки?
Думаю, да, потому что нависнет из-за того, что берет ее с
Может быть, да.
накопителя, ну, с внешнего источника.
Just one, please.
И еще как вариант можно попробовать подключить, чтобы выходили языков на наушниках.
Мой контроллер сейчас поможет.
Надеюсь, надежно, что это опять будет ресурсы.
Добрый вечер. Сейчас, по-моему, звук наладился уже. Вот до этого было плохо слышно.
Ага. Добрый вечер. Спасибо.
That was good sound.
Yeah,
Good.
that's what I said. It was a problem before, now it's fixed. I said it in Russian.
You need to interrupt me earlier.
Okay, now will be a good.
Okay, it is better now. Is it better? How is the quality sound?
You have to keep talking a little bit longer.
I see. Okay. Please
Or,
let me know
maybe if you,
whether
sorry, maybe if you have a earphone like this, maybe it will solve your issue, because we just cutting a little bit.
Microsoft. Okay, let me continue. Our IT specialists try to make changes in the settings.
It seems better now, so maybe you
How
can
is
continue.
how is the sound now?
It seems better.
Yeah, it's going to be better, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I also I will speak loudly. So please let me know whether you have any questions concerning the previous part of the presentation. Is everything clear concerning documents required and procedures required for arranging of the charter flights of Antonov 124 and 225 aircraft? Mm-hmm. Okay.
If anyone has, I'm sorry, if anyone has any questions, they can write in the chat box also, or maybe raise your hand from the reactions button on the bottom of your screen, and I will of course see and unmute your microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hello?
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 Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Ahmed Youssef. I'm in charge of projects in EGL Logistics, Kadmar Group in Egypt. I just want to say hello to everyone.
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, very good.
I read your nice presentation. I just want some small questions. I would like to get your feedback about something related to heavy lift project, like how much maximum weight, length, width, any restriction for ground pressure because the overweight. So I would like to get this answer if you don't mind.
Not clear. Sorry, possibly we have some issue with the sound. Could you repeat, please? Maximum.
Yeah,
load,
maximum weight, length, and width, and for the heavy weight, how much the ground feeling pressure.
Mm-hmm. I see. This is exactly the second part of the presentation concerning the technical aspects for transportation of the heavy cargoes. So I just will start this technical part, and if you have after that some questions, we will return and discuss it. So yeah, we can transport the super heavy cargoes with maximum weight up to 200 tons using a special loading equipment. We call it OPTG 120M. It looks like a railway that we install in front of the aircraft. You can see on the slide how it looks, how this operation looks using OPTG 120. This ramp system is universal, and it is used for Antonov 124 and for 225 aircraft, for both these types of aircraft. The process looks like we, after preparation of the aircraft for the loading, we install this loading system, railway, in front of the aircraft. After cargo is delivered by truck to the board of aircraft using external cranes. This cargo is lifted from the truck and placed on the movable platforms of our loading system. After installation on the loading system, the cargo is very slowly moved, winched by winches inside of the aircraft. So this is principle that we used for loading of such heavy pieces up to 200 tons. Sometimes the project cargo is not so heavy, but very, let's say, but oversized. For such types of cargo, we developed another loading system, and we call it OPKG 50. That is the lowest.
الو حضرتك
Hello? The lowest loading system on the market, and it allows to load the pieces with height up to 4.27 meters. The same principle of loading as I described for the previous loading system. But this loading system has a restriction. It can the maximum weight of the pieces that can be loaded using this system is 50 tons. Another way of loading of the cargo inside of Antonov 124 and 225 aircraft, it's loading of the vehicles with low ground clearance using OZDKG. We call this OZDKG loading equipment. And it allows to load vehicles up to 120 tons. And you can see on the picture such example of loading cargo using the vehicle. Approach and departure angles to be not less than 5 degrees, and maximum axle load weight is 15 tons per axle. Loading cars. Loading cars, we also use car rack system, and it allows to load cars in 2 levels. The decision on the method of loading and offloading of the cargo is the responsibility of engineers of Antonov Airlines. This method will be chosen following the detailed study of many parameters and risk assessment. After that, we will explain to our charterer what are restrictions, what there are restrictions for transportation of the cargo, what are special requirements or special conditions to be applied for during loading and for offloading and for transportation. For example, some cargoes require pressurization of the cargo compartment of the aircraft. Cargo compartments of Antonov 124 and Antonov 225 aircraft are not fully pressurized. So to keep some conditions of flight, we need to receive requirements in advance and to prepare aircraft for such type of operation. This is example loading and offloading such cargoes as train here using OPTG 120 ramp system. In general, the specific criteria required for this loading method are: we need to know exact dimensions of each piece, the total weight distribution. It's important to know what is the distribution of the weight on the aircraft floor. Aircraft floor is not from concrete. It is light metal structure. And if such concentrated load will come to the one point, it will damage the aircraft floor, will damage the aircraft. So the task during preparation of the cargo, how to smoothly distribute the weight from the piece on the aircraft floor. And our engineers, in cooperation with the engineers of the customer or shipper, can analyze and design special frame, transport frame, for distribution of the load from the piece on the aircraft floor. Let's say we use like a ski effect, distributing weight on the cargo floor. I remember from our practice, we performed transportation of generator with weight 186 tons from Germany to Armenia, and to find solution and to realize this solution for safe transportation of the cargo of such heavy weight. We spent 6 months for preparation of the cargo to the flight. 6 months of very intensive work between engineering teams of Antonov company and engineering team of the customer, just to perform the flight per 5 hours. 6 months of preparation and to perform flight of only 5 hours, because there were no other way to deliver such heavy cargo to Armenia, to Yerevan, because country is a landlocked country. There is no seaport. Cargo could not be delivered by mountain roads. So there's only one way of delivering the cargo it's delivered by air. So, and it was successfully performed, but it required some time for careful preparation, taking into consideration these technical restrictions. Of course, to make such preparation with good quality, we need initial data. We need drawings of the piece that we plan to transport. We need drawings in AutoCAD format, not just in PDF, because our engineers, after receiving such drawings, start to design such frame. Some companies are worried about passing drawings to the third parties due to, let's say, sensitive information. For such cases, we sign the non-disclosure agreement with the customers, with the clients, and under NDA, we receive such drawings and perform the cargo preparations for the transportation. Also, it's important to know what is the center of gravity, where is the lifting points, and it's also important what is where it's possible to have the lashing points to lash the cargo inside of aircraft and avoid any movement during flight. So all cargo pieces need to be secured and lashed during flight. And normally we do this using the steel chains. And each piece of cargo, each part of that piece of cargo must be restricted against displacement in all directions. So here you can see one of the examples how the cargo is lashed inside of the aircraft by chains. because we need to avoid any movement of the cargo during flight, it's important to check with the shipper, with the customer, whether the cargo can meet the requirements concerning the J-forces. The maximum J-forces that we are considering during operation, but it's worst case scenario, let's say emergency landing, for example, forward it's 2.3 G, backwards 1.5 G, left, right 1.5 G, up 1.5 G, and down 3.5 G. But I need to add that is a worst case scenario. In the normal operation, we don't meet such J-forces. I will come back to the examples that I just mentioned about the flights that we performed in 2009, delivery this generator to Armenia. When the cargo was prepared already for the transportation, we double-checked with the customer to confirm that cargo can withstand the mentioned J-forces. And suddenly, customer remembered that external part, yes, it can withstand, but internal part, the rotor inside of the generator, was not calculated for such J-forces. But we already spent 6 months of preparation, and on the last stage, we just received this information. Sorry, it cannot withstand such J-forces. So for this specific transportation, we prepared a special, very experienced crew that consisted of the test pilots. On the special flight simulator, they did trainings how to very smoothly approach, very smoothly to land, just to avoid any increased J-forces. And we agreed with the customer that such conditions of the flight will be met. Customer put special registration, special devices to record all J-forces during the shipment, because it's also, you very well understand, it concerns insurance. So the flight was performed without any issues. Customer was happy, so we delivered the cargo without any exceeding of the calculated J-forces that particular cargo. So it's different situation in slide, and in every such project is unique, and we always try to find solution that can allow us to perform such flight. And as example, our recent project, biggest recent project for Antonov 225 aircraft. It was, let's say, a recent big project with a project cargo. Possibly you saw the information about using Antonov 225 for humanitarian missions during this year, delivering some general cargo like personal protection equipment. And we are really we are missing for the real work, real job for such aircraft. So in 2018, we performed a big project for Siemens company in South America, delivering 12 heat recovery steam generators with 160 tons each from Chile, Iquique to Chimore, Bolivia. And in the beginning of this project, the cargo also was not loadable in Antonov 225 aircraft because the lifting points did not allow to move cargo inside. And we consider different scenarios, also possibly you will meet in your real projects that require to make some changes to the cargo to allow it to load. For example, lifting points did not allow to place the cargo inside of the cross-section of the aircraft. And engineers proposed just these lifting points were welded to the body of the piece, and we considered different options. One of the options was to cut these lifting points after installation of the ramp equipment, to cut them, winch cargo inside, fly into the destination, roll out cargo out, then to weld these lifting points and leave it for cooling for the night, and in the morning to leave the cargo from the equipment on the trucks. It was one of the options, but the most, let's say, the best option was just to make this lifting points bolted. And Siemens made changes to the lifting points. They did them bolted, and after installation of the piece of the cargo on the loading equipment, we just dismantled this bolted lifting points, removed them, cargo suited inside of the cargo cabin. After delivery to the airport of destination, cargo was rolled out. Again, the lifting points were put and cargo was rolled. So sometimes modifications of the cargo will be required. As I mentioned in the previous example, for some specific missions, we use a specially trained crew, because different crew members has different skills. And fortunately, our company is not the regular operator. We are the company that design new type of aircraft, and we have the test pilots in our staff. And for some difficult missions, difficult, I mean, depending on the elevation of the aircraft, available length of runway, or let's say temperature restrictions, we use a very experienced, especially trained crews that can allow operations to do and day at night. But for the project in Bolivia, there was restrictions for the only daylight operations, because airport in Bolivia was not in let's say normal operational mode, and airport has not lighting equipment. Also, airport has not own tow tractor, so we delivered our own tow tractor from Kiev to Iquique, to Chile, and successfully performed this mission, overcoming these difficulties in logistics, in infrastructure, on the ground. So the Antonov is the only airline in the world that can offer delivery of the cargoes by air up to 250 tons and up to 200 tons for single pieces by Antonov 225 aircraft. Also, we can propose our customers to deliver the cargoes up to 150 tons by Antonov 124 aircraft. We have two modified aircraft, as I mentioned, and we provide the global reach and personal touch. Thank you. So please ask your questions.
Thank you very much, Andriy, for the nice presentation. Well, we just had some issues with the microphone or connection, but I think we could get your message and understand a little bit. We have some questions here. You can raise up your hands if you have any new questions, but I have someone that Danielle Sigard asked here about the payment terms, how it works with the payment terms. Very important to know.
Payment terms, our normal payment terms is 100% prepayment, advance payment. For some big projects, we divide this payment for few parts. Also, for long-term partners with whom we have a big series of flights, we can do some, let's say, credit, 50% before the flight and 50% after the flight during 2 weeks, maximum 30 days.
Okay, perfect. I have also, it's just a curiosity here question before we have other questions too, about this project from Iquique to Chimore in Bolivia. Well, it's close to us here, but is there any special reason that because usually you could go, they could go by truck this lane from Chile to Bolivia, but is there any special reason why they choose to spend more, much more, doing charters with Antonov, bringing the airplane from Ukraine down here to South America? So that's the first question. And second, what are the airport restrictions? Because we know that in this Chimore, for example, is not like a big airport like London or like I don't know, New York, for example. But how you manage? What are the restrictions for airports all over the world? What you need to land your Antonov 225?
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Murila. Thank you for your questions. You're absolutely right. Normally, such type of cargoes are delivered by trucks. And initial plan of Siemens was to deliver such 12 units by trucks. They delivered only one. And after that, we were informed that due to rain season that started in Bolivia, some rivers just destroyed the infrastructure, ground infrastructure. And it was not possible to restore them or to wait until the rain season. That is why they looked into air delivery solution. And concerning performance of the airport in Bolivia, it's also we also ask about this airport, such big airport that can accommodate Antonov 225 biggest aircraft in the world, and has no any infrastructure. So, and we were advised that this airport was constructed under initiative of the former Bolivian president who was born in that area.
Okay.
And so he convinced the government to invest in this airport, and for a long time this airport was not used for serious transportations, for serious flights. And fortunately, it became very useful for this particular project.
Okay, I see.
So at least so government can say that they spent money for this airport, not for nothing, for such important project.
Okay, I see. Just continuing the same question. So from Elizabeth, but wrote here. So the length of the runway of the airport. What is the standards we need to take care? Mm-hmm. I mean, for the Antonov 225.
It's approximately 3,000 meters.
Okay.
It depends. Performance of the aircraft and performance and payload we can deliver depends on the few key factors. It is length of runway, it is strength of runway, it is elevation on the sea level, it is temperature of air. So even time of year is important and sometimes very critical to make that or another project. In winter time, we can deliver more cargo comparing to the payload in the summertime. So there's physics of air. And some projects we specifically plan in the winter time period when we, let's say, when this performance are critical.
Okay, perfect. Well,
so and also we need to consider such performance in air region, airport of destination, en route airports for technical stops, and also we need to consider the performances of alternative airports. So we took into consideration the worst case scenario, let's say the worst performances of the all available airports on the route. So that is why you can ask me why you mentioned that to Antonov 225 can carry up to 250 tons. But for example, for the project from Leipzig to Cebu to Philippines, you can take only 180 tons. So due to these reasons, we look all available airports on the route where we can make the technical landings, their alternative airports, and using the worst case scenario, we consider worst case scenario and we stick payload.
Okay, perfect. I have other questions here from Mohammed and Nikolai, but if you want, I think it's better if you, Mohammed, if you want to open your microphone, it's better that you, so we can interact a little bit more. You can do your questions is very nice. You can do it, and Nikolai next, then Nikolai. So please.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, it's a great presentation, but there is many people, they don't like to give straightforward diagram saying, okay, you have maximum this weight, maximum this, or a combination. So is there any diagram with Antonov where, let's say, an aircraft AN-124 or AN-225, we can do this much? Because you have given examples. Yes, we know you have loaded 150 tons and 180 tons and maximum 250 tons of uplifting. But then is there a chart, you know, if you go for European aircraft, they tell you, you have this space, this is this much weight per square meter you can load. This, the winch have the capacity of X, because most Russian aircrafts, they have a problem. I mean, the crane, the winch on board is, I don't think it will lift, it will pull 150 tons. So is there any diagram like that?
Antonov is Ukrainian aircraft, not Russian aircraft. And we have diagrams. We have detailed brochure with all performances of our aircraft, and diagrams, as you just mentioned, that can be used for planning, let's say preliminary planning of accommodation of the cargo in the cargo compartment. I will share the link where such detailed brochures can be downloaded. But in any case, we would recommend to send us the all packing list, and our engineers, our load planning specialists, will prepare the load plans. Because if uses diagrams without knowledge where the lesion points are located, what is the restrictions by internal cranes, because internal cranes also has some height and can be placed in the rear part of aircraft or in front part of aircraft to allow the tall cargoes be loaded. But at the same time, we are changing the centering of aircraft. That also should be taken into consideration. So answering to your question, yes, we have charts, we have diagrams available, but it can be used only for preliminary understanding whether the cargo is loadable or not. And proper load plans should be prepared by our specialists.
Well, I mean, for sure, we this only give indication on possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to come up with the cargo and load it in. It will be extremely dangerous. But just, you know, you have limitation. Then maybe you you don't take into consideration this route or this method or the equipment, because you already crossed the line. And as I said, I mean, of course, your aircraft is the biggest in the world, but then maybe sometimes it will not be workable. You never know. So yeah, I think it will be a great idea. Thank you very much.
Okay, Andriy, just if you can share us later the brochures and the presentation, so we can send to our members on our per email. We can send later the link so they can upload download the presentations. Okay, is it okay? Then we have another one here from Nikolai. If you want to ask Nikolai, or if you like, I can do it by my own here. Okay, so Nikolai wants to know if you provide loading, unloading equipment to origin or destination airports, including cranes, ramps, etc. If so, how do you deliver then to origin destination? So I believe you bring then together with the airplane, right?
Normally, we provide loading equipment on the board of aircraft. We deliver the loading equipment to the origin point. But also we can use a scheduled service to deliver the loading, for example, from the home base in Kyiv to United States. And we also can deliver this equipment by trucks, but it's our responsibility. So it costs nothing for our clients. It's our task. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And Natalia, do you want to ask directly?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
Glad to see everyone. Yeah, well, my question was, do you have any restrictions to the countries? I mean, are there any countries where you are not allowed to fly or to pass by? I mean, okay, airport, we understand. Yeah, it's more related to technical conditions, so whether you can land. But are there any countries where you strictly do not go at all?
Yes, there are such countries where we cannot go. That depends on the safety of operation. Such countries is Libya, Yemen, Syria, where we do not fly in.
And war risk territories.
Yeah, war risk, and also, let's say, aviation security. For example, we don't fly to Somalia as well due to aviation security reasons, and we do not fly to Russia due to political situation between Ukraine and Russia. So we avoid in Russian airspace.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, if I may ask an additional question, the reason I ask that is because now one of the biggest businesses, which is foreseen for freight forwarding industry, is transportation of. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had an interruption. Yeah. So the biggest businesses we foresee for our industry in the coming days, it's a transportation of vaccines. Because, you know, it's the latest news. Yeah, the vaccine is finally like you know, released, and it will be transported to many countries. The Antonov Airlines, you know, supposed to participate that in this business, or maybe you already have this experience with transportation of vaccines?
Interesting question, thank you. We delivered different sensitive cargo, let's say like satellites, where this cargo requires special conditions of transportation, special temperatures, special pressurization, J-forces. So it's very sensitive cargo, and vaccines is also sensitive cargo. To confirm possibility to transport such sensitive cargo, first of all, we need to receive the technical requirements for transportation of the containers with the vaccines. Whether this, what will be, what temperature is required, what pressure is required, whether power connection is required during transportation. At the moment, we don't have such information, and we understand that for different vaccines, different requirements will be applied. As soon as we have such technical information to the containers or environment container, yeah, there's a special name for such containers for vaccines. We can confirm possibility, or let's say, sorry, it's not possible, taking into consideration technical performance of our aircraft. But what we also can consider, and let's say advantage of Antonov 124 and 225 aircraft comparing to, let's say, classic Boeing 747, that there is no restriction for transportation of dry ice, and dry ice may be required for transportation of vaccines, and for passenger aircraft or for the cargo aircraft like Boeing, there is specific restrictions concerning the quantity, maximum quantity of dry ice on the board during one flight. For 124, it's not a problem. We are waiting.
Thank you.
We are waiting.
Thank you for your thank you for your reply. When we have more information, then I will definitely contact you like separately.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we can discuss in details.
And just to add my answer to your previous question, when we need to deliver some cargo to the territories where we cannot fly, we always consider the nearest suitable airport where we can deliver the cargo safely, and after that cargo can be transported crossing the border to the final destination.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. We have another two questions here. Hitan, if you like to open your microphone and you like to ask your question, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to join you today. It's me, Hitan, head of engineer of AGL. My question is for the change of the pressure when we have the flight taking off or landing. And most of the cargo of oil and gases have a compressed oils or liquids or gases inside. So my concern is when we're having taking off or landing, so the speed of change of the pressure in this case. So does it affect it? Because sometimes in flight you cannot bring your soda can with you, otherwise it will be explode. So this is my concern. This is my first question.
Thank you for your question. Yes, it's a very practical question, and we very often meet such requirement concerning the speed of change the pressure in the cargo compartment. When we receive such special requirements from our customers, we put this information in the instructions to the crew in brief, and crew preparing to the flight, they see this information and they have the special, say, profile of the flight, of the descent, very smooth descent. Of course, airport allows to, for example, for delivery of cargo to Kabul in Afghanistan, where the airport is surrounded by mountains. The profile of the flight is like this one, and departure. So for such flights to Kabul, for example, we cannot, let's say, meet requirements for the smooth change of the cargo, of the pressure in the cargo compartment. But for the, let's say, main part, the main part of the flight, it's not a problem. As soon as such requirement appears in the conditions, it is not an issue.
Okay. My second concern is for the load distribution inside the plane itself. I'm so curious to know what is the mechanism for it, because sometimes for long cargos or tanks or something like that, so sometimes in front will be heavier than the back side. So I have an idea inside my head to use like a SPMT trailer inside the plane itself. So if you have it like this and the cargo maybe up of it, so using the SPMT inside the plane itself, you can adjust the height or the level of the cargo, so you can adjust it. So I want to know the mechanism of the load distribution inside the cargo, because sometimes otherwise if you get up or take off the plane, so you will find that the load is not distributing inside.
Yeah, it's very important to have the proper distribution of the weight on the cargo floor, and exactly as you just showed. You just showed such configuration.
Okay.
But we need to do this way. This is cargo, and this is frame for distribution of the weight. It is normally much thinner compared to the concentrated load from the piece. We have restrictions, 10 tons per linear meter. For example, if cargo has weight 100 tons and length of the base of the cargo is 10 meters, so it's okay. 100 tons per 10 meters, we have 10 tons per meter per linear meter. But if, for example, this is 100 tons, but base is 5 meters, we have 20 tons per meter. That is 2 times increases the maximum permitted load on the cargo floor. For such cases, we design special device, special frame to put this heavy cargo on the frame and distribute it on the 10 meters.
Right. Okay. Got it. So the main idea is just to distribute the weight. Okay.
Distribute the weight. Not this way, because in this case, all this weight will go to the less bases.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so the next question, Roberto. If you would like to open your microphone, you can ask Andriy.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon for you all. Yeah, I was curious about Antonov, because it's a classic. You know, it's a plane that has been built with a special capacity, a special size. We have seen this plane in Brazil. And I was wondering about future. Is there a plan for substitution? Because I understand that the main, let's say, product of your company is Antonov. And what about future? Because all planes, all equipments have a lifetime limit. And is there a plan for substitution for Antonov? That's a very interesting question for me. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Yes, Antonov, as designer of the aircraft and holder of type certificate, always considers how to extend the lifetime of the aircraft and how to modernize the aircraft to meet the modern requirements on the emissions, modern requirements on the precision of the flight navigation, and modern requirements concerning the required avionics on the board. And our company does this type of works, and we have special plan for modernization of our fleet that we realize by stages. Currently, you possibly heard about requirements of United States of America to have ADS-B out avionics. It's a responder. Without this equipment, flights are not allowed in airspace of United States. It means that we need to modify the aircraft, and we did this for some of our aircraft. And we also issue the documentation to allow other operators of Antonov 124 to have such modernized aircraft, to provide modernization and have such modernized aircraft. Concerning the extension of lifetime, the lifetime of the frame is extended up to 45 years at the moment. So this is maximum lifetime received for Antonov 124. It means that the aircraft will fly at least for next 15 years. And concerning the engines, we work closely with Ukrainian designer and Ukrainian manufacturer of engines for the aircraft Antonov 124 and Antonov 225. These companies are based in Zaporizhia, Ukraine, Progress Design Bureau, and Motor Sich company. So we work with them also on modification of engines as well, to the standards on emissions and noise. We developed together the new modification of this engine, D18T Series 3M. M means modernized engines. So we're working in this direction to keep aircraft flying for at least for the next 15 years.
Okay,
very good.
Okay, understood. Come on.
Thank you, Andriy. We have our last question before we leave. Dikshan, Total Movement. You like to ask, Dikshan?
Yeah, hello everyone. So Andriy, I wanted to ask you, so there might have been a lot of challenges coming up due to COVID crisis. So the cargo which is actually transported by Antonov Airlines might have also changed, because somewhere I saw that it's actually project shipments, medical equipment and other types of cargo which is there. But the project shipments have been brought down to about 15% of the total cargo which is transported. Also, I wanted to ask you, as the operational expenses might have also changed, so how significant has the impact been on the operational expenses borne by the airline due to this?
Could you repeat? Could you ask you to repeat the last phrase, please?
Yeah, so there might have been a lot of challenges coming up with respect to the operational expenses, because I saw that the routes also have to be changed due to COVID, and there are different regulations. So I was wondering, like, how significant is the impact on these operational expenses which are borne by Antonov Airlines?
Mm-hmm. Operational expenses. Operational expenses have serious impact on the prices. At least 50%, what's the biggest part of the price is expenses for the fuel. Also, big aircraft requires big attention, and from airport services. So that of course we have, let's say, operational. I'll answer to the question. Operational expenses have impact on the prices. Whether I right understood your question.
Yeah, so I saw that there are a lot of challenges which are actually coming up due to the delays at the airports, and also there are different restrictions in different countries, and the routes have also to be changed because due to this pandemic. So there are different regulations which have actually been set up. So regular flights also had to be cancelled. Special charters are also there for the rotation of slip crews and all. So I was wondering how significant is this kind of a challenge which has been brought up by this pandemic? Is this quite significant?
I apologize. There is some issue with the sound on my side, and are we talking about the impact, or can you possibly to write this question and I will read it?
Я давайте переведу просто. Если нужно, я могу на русский перевести просто. Спрашивали, насколько серьезные последствия пандемии в плане операционных.
No, you interrupted your microphone, I think.
Yeah, sorry. Значит, вопрос. I'm trying to translate it into Russian. Вопрос был, Андрей, вопрос был в том, насколько серьезные последствия принесла пандемия в плане операционных расходов для авиакомпании. То есть, увеличились ли они значительно, стало ли это для вас там значительным препятствием?
I see. Thank you for help. I apologize because it's not really a sound from our side and not all text can be recognized. So yes, it's an interesting question because during the pandemic, really our expenses increased and they had impact on our operational costs. Why? Because not all countries allow to fly to them. They just close their borders for the quarantine, including for the cargo operations as well. Or they do not allow to leave the port of aircraft for the crew for crew rest. That also put on the question possibility to perform the mission. Also, we are forced to use special charters for rotation of our crew in the different airports of the world, because regular flights, they do not fly, and medicine norms we need to meet, medicine requirements for the duty time of the crew. So we are forced to change them using special charters. We also fly not by optimal routes. We are not flying optimal routes. We're flying to the routes that is possible to realize. Let's say by zigzag, but not the, let's say, direct flight. Because because pandemic put such restrictions on the operations. Yeah.
Okay, so Andriy and Valeria, thank you very much for the webinar today. You see, there are so many questions.
Can I add one more thing? Because I expected this question, but did not receive it. So, but I think that it's possibly important to know to all members of the Heavily group and their customers and guests invited to this conference, to this masterclass, that concerning the recent case that happened with one Antonov 124 aircraft in Novosibirsk. The aircraft had emergency landing after one of the engine was destroyed in the flight. And another operator of Antonov 124 took decision to ground all their Antonov 124 fleet 2 weeks ago. So, and we received many questions from journalists whether Antonov Airlines plan to follow this the same procedure and to stop operation of our Antonov aircraft. And I need to clarify to the customers that Antonov Airlines puts the flight safety first. We are responsible airline and we work closely with the holder of type certificate of engine. It's Ukrainian companies, as I mentioned before. We also work with Antonov Design Bureau, that is holder of type certificate. It's our organization, same organization for Antonov 124 aircraft. And we very responsibly do all required maintenance and works for extension of lifetime, not only for engine, but also for, important to say, for the aircraft frame. And we meet all internal safety regulations and also national and international regulations concerning the flight concerning the safety of the flight operation. So that is why we took decision to continue operation of Antonov 124, and even more. 2 days ago we entered Antonov 225. We added Antonov 225 after the plant maintenance, also in commercial operation. So because there is very big all the fleet, and we plan to continue operation further, and we plan the most important safe operation. So this is what I wanted to add concerning Antonov 124, Antonov 225, and basically activity of Antonov Airlines and approach concerning the flight safety.
Yeah, perfect. Andriy, thank you very much for the information. And from the Have Lift group, XCOM, we remember all the documentation that we received from your side with all the safety issues. So we really know that it's really a serious company. That's why we are here together. So thank you very much for being a member and for giving us this masterclass today. And for the Have Lift group, for your information, next year we'll be again in Bremen, in Germany. We hope that it will be well fine today, the Breakbook exhibition. And Antonov will be our neighborhood on the booth. They have a nice booth just next to us. So we have the opportunity to meet in person and also to clarify more doubts that we might have. So we thank you again, Andriy. I don't know, Andrea, if you will make a picture.
To be together with the Heavily group on the same platform.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I have taken some pictures already, but the last one will be great also. If everyone could smile, maybe for a final picture. Yeah. Okay.
Or it would be cool to switch on your cameras if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever can.
Switch off.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, I have already taken 1, 2, 3. One moment. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much, and have a nice evening or day or morning. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for a nice webinar.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.